Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, I actually want us to look at this right here. Now we are going to actually walk through how I actually analyze, how I go into my entry processes and everything. This is my recap and all this stuff. So to be honest, I missed this particular move. Although I anticipated this, I spoke about this in my previous video. If you want to watch it, I'll link the video below in the description below for you guys to see it out. So I possibly actually took this trade, but I was not. Sorry, I was actually deceived by this particular bearish candle, thinking it might actually push to the downside. But I didn't actually look, left, right. Today I was actually deceived, right. I didn't see this particular one, so I didn't see it on the 1 hour, but I was only looking at it on the 4 hour, the higher time frame look. So but later I realized this was actually liquidity. But as at then, it was too late because I've already taken the entry. So I was just like, no, let me just let it go, whichever way it's there. So I was taken out of this second trade. There's a second trade here. When we go to the 15 minutes, you see I have a second trade. Right. Oh my God. Okay. Let me clean this and let my chart line stay. Okay. All right. So when you go to the 15 minutes right here, you see I actually have a second trade, right, which is actually right here. So I kept the second trade after I kept my stop loss below the stop loss, sorry, above the second trade stop loss of my first entry. So I was able to make 5% off of this trade. I didn't take an entry from this one, and the reason was fairly simple, right? I was actually not on my phone, honestly. So my whole zone was actually this one. I wanted to take this though, but I was kind of like, maybe this can get tapped into, because when you go to the 1 minute, there's a little bit of imbalance right here. So I kind of waited. You see, this one is closed, but this one is kind of. So I said, okay, fine, let me take this candle. But when I was supposed to take the entry, I was not on my charts. Mostly, I don't want to be taking limit orders because of how price is fractal these days and because of recession. So I kind of want to avoid taking trades with that, because you can easily get stopped out, and it's not even advisable all the time, right? If there is too much noise, please let me know in the comments below. So looking at this one, this is how I actually go about it. So when I look at it on the 4 hour, the reason why I actually looked to take forward this trade was because I mentioned that there was imbalance on both sides, right? There's a little bit of imbalance also with an order block, another one too also here, like a zone instead, right? And those also, this one is also an important area if price does go back there. But I'm not sure if price will go back because of this strong push. This was actually a fake out, right? This is actually a sweep of liquidity. So you can see Wyckoff has started forming right here. What I would like to see furthermore is a last point of supply before everything. I've not spoken about Wyckoff, but I think this is actually something. Wyckoff is a very good strategy. I use it most of the cases, but order blocks is one of the easiest. Wyckoff tend to look too complicated because some people don't feel at ease when they are using Wyckoff, right? So on the 4 hour, after seeing this particular move here, I didn't highlight this honestly, right? After I was taken out that I highlighted this, but I didn't get a confirmation on this, so I didn't take it fairly. I wanted to see a break around this area, though I didn't take this into consideration because this is also a low, right? This could have been a break, and I could have gotten an entry of this buy to sell candle, right? You can see how the wick has tried to go back but couldn't. So this would have been a very fairly entry for me, and I could have taken the trade off of this half because it is a buy to sell candle, and that candle always need to fill. It's like when you have a candle, right, and you have price creating. Anytime you go to when you're looking at a trade, anytime you see a wick like this, in most cases, it's supposed to be filled with the next candle. All right, if it is also above, it's supposed to be filled before it moves on to the original direction. So in the case where you see things like that, you're supposed to take note of them. Just like this candle right here, we are highly likely to see something to fool this before pushing to the downside. So that's why I would like to look at this as a very good break, right? So I wanted to see this break. My entry wanted to be this way, right? I wanted to see this break. But for me not seeing a full break, and from where it was coming from, you can see right now there's a very clear break of structure at the top. So I've kind of like, I can take this trade from here. Maybe I can take this trade and where was I? No, I can take an entry. There is an entry around this place. I can take it from here and get stopped out on the way. So I was looking at this one to see if I can take a trade. It is still valid to take a trade, but from where price is coming from, I would personally say it is a fake out, and this shouldn't be something you should be looking out for to take an entry off of. Although when you take it, there is nothing wrong with that, but when you look at it keenly, it is ultimately liquidity, and you can see my target for the first one was ultimately here. You can see this line over here. So I would like to actually take this as liquidity in my case, but nonetheless, it is a very good entry because when I shrink the liquidity over here, right, you see that, let me put it here. You see that it is actually, okay, fine, let's take this. This is equal loose, but the one inside here is being taken out as liquidity, right? So, and what we normally do is taking trace off of liquidity. So when we look at the line as it is aligned, it is taken out. So price can likely come and tap into, as it has done this to it, give a change of character and give a pullback. At this moment, I'm looking at the pullback. I mentioned that on the 4-hour, we should possibly see a pullback on this particular trade, right? Because anytime you see a strong push to the downside, you should be looking for a correction. A minimum look like this. Sometimes that this one doesn't happen most of the cases, but I spoke about this in my other previous videos, which I'll link below in the description below, right? So this one, and I also said that in case we do tap into, we should be seeing a larger correction, though not like this one, but this correction should be a little bit smaller, but a version of this place, right? It should look something like this in my case. So that is what we have already seen, and you can see we have, let's say, first, second, and a third touch. So we should be seeing a break of structure right here, and which is what I'm saying, that I want to see price moving back, tapping into this area. So this one, I would like it to be filled, but if it doesn't, there is no need, right? Don't wait for it to be filled, because I said it. Look for confirmations and take your entries, right? I'll be happy if all of you actually analyze like the way I do, because I normally want to see price engaging itself in a particular type of structure movement before I can be able to take an entry, because in most cases you're always going to get kicked out, right? So now you know, like, right, if you actually want to be good at SMC, good as fuck, right, and you don't want to go through SMC all along, and you are a pattern trader, it is the best for you to switch. If you want to switch to SMC and you are a pattern trader, it's quietly very easy. If you're also a wave trader, those who trade waves, right, that kind of ABC type of trades, it is quietly also very simple, because you get much understanding of it as compared to that. Though it might take you a little bit of a year or two, or probably months if you're a fast learner, but it is quietly very easy. If you trade support and resistance, it is also one of the easiest. Also, because when you look at this, you can see that price has also aligned. I can fairly say that every strategy on earth, if you want to switch to any other strategy, it becomes easier because you use the other strategy you were trading before as confirmation, right? Because you're not sure of SMC and you're not sure of the strategy you are using, so it can barely be a confirmation. So at the moment, let's actually be analysts here, but not traders. Let's wait for a reaction. We should be waiting for a reaction, because this is not an actual break on the 4-hour. So you can see I've just showed you my entry models. So I shared something on my social media, on my Telegram channel, and it was taken off for 5-minute time frame, which is the first entry I took earlier yesterday, right? That was yesterday's trade. Here you can see that. So, and I spoke about Asian break. You can watch that. You can see how it broke above and came back inside. All these things has been spoken about. I spoke about Asian break. It is all confirmations. If you want to get into SMC as a freshman, all these stuffs are all confirmations. You can decide to learn them, you can decide not to. Asian break is a strategy on its own. SMC has a lot of strategies. Somebody wondering, why didn't I highlight this whole thing? So the reason I didn't do that is because this is a 1-minute entry right here, right? Let's go back to the 1 minute. When it comes to the 1 minute, we actually have a very nice break of structure right there. But because you are not going to, you are not trading the 1 minute, you're not going to see it. The 1 minute is even one of the fair entries I love, because just look at it. It's so simple. The 1 minute is very simple. You see, we have, anytime you see candles like this, anytime you see a candle push up and a candle push down like this, you should know that that is actually a very strong bearish momentum. That is a 1 hour candle, but actually on the lower time frame. So this candle is always taken into consideration. You can see how the entry is, right? So that is where you can get to take. That is what we call the V-shaped recovery. That's what we call the V-shaped recovery in what? In SMC, right? So that is where it is. You can take an entry from here. But I actually waited for the V-shape to happen, giving me another confirmation. So now that I took that particular V-shape into consideration, took half of that particular trade, which I could possibly do, but actually entered here after I think this one even played out before I even took it. I took the entry here, but I think as at then there was a lot of spreads. Though I used Pro account, but there's a lot of spreads, so it's a kind of an activated account around here. So that's why I readjusted it to take the trade here. Today the video is long because I want to explain everything concerning my entry modules and everything shared into this. So this is a lot of gist for you guys to follow. I'm sharing this free, but this is actually paid mentorship. My prayer is those who paid for this shouldn't actually persecute me, because I've not even been active with them for a very long time. Yeah, well, so that is it. So that is possibly it. Yeah, so today that is actually what I want to share, and this is possibly what you should be seeing. In this case scenario, let's actually see this as actually the opportunity to learn, right? Please, if you want me to be sharing more educational content, I will be very happy if you reach 1K subscribers, because the motivation for me doing this is to help, but it's also important for me to receive appreciations. I'll be really glad for that, because appreciation in most cases is what helps us as traders and YouTubers to actually give things for free of charge without even charging a penny. So all this is actually for free, and I'm happy to actually see you subscribe. Give this a like and share it to groups you know who need it, right? Don't spam, just share it if they need it, and recommend if I'm good. If I'm not, please give me the description below what I should change in my videos and what you think I'm doing wrong, and if I am actually doing this falsely and I'm hiding my success secretly or anything. For me, I'm open to ideas, and I'll really be happy to hear your voice. Thank you, and signing out.